ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय। शिवजी सदा सहाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। गुरुजी सदा सहाय। नमस्ते गुरुजी। जय गुरुजी संगत जी। I am back with a new session of the reading of Light of Divinity, and with Guruji's permission and blessing, I start the session. For a shipping man, he charts course of life. In 1995, Mr. Rai, now a captain with the Merchant Navy, was at his home in Jalandhar when his left eye vision blurred. Doctors found that there was a nerve problem behind the left retina. At around this time, his mother and wife went to Guruji's temple in Defence Colony for an errand. Subsequently, Rai's mother wanted her son to go to Guruji. He refused initially, but agreed to drop his mother till Guruji's place. Once he was there, he was curious and went inside. Like all mothers, Rai's too was anxious that her son should get well. She told Guruji of his problem. Guruji sent Rai to another room and told him to wait. Rai was restless and mentally asked Guruji what he was doing there. No sooner had he made the query when Guruji came and asked him, "What should I do for you?" He asked Rai to get a bunch of betel leaves. He blessed these and asked him to put them over his eyes with the help of a light bandage for about an hour, and then dispose of the leaves in flowing water. After an hour, Rai found his vision was perfect. Rai began going regularly to Guruji's. He had a vision on his third or fourth visit. He was woken up during his sleep and found that there was a blue light on his bedroom wall. He could clearly see Shivji, and further ahead in a yellow dress was Guruji. In place of Guruji's head there was a shivling. He woke up his wife Anu and the projection on the wall vanished. Till that time, Rai had no idea of Shivji. He thought he must have been a mythological figure. Guruji's play with his devotee had begun, and his grace had begun to flow towards the Rai family. Anu was suffering from a slip disc in her lower back. She used to wear a heavy belt, and according to doctors, the only way out was an operation. This was fairly risky, as even a slight surgical error could lead to paralysis. When Guruji came to know of the problem, he took a spoon and scanned Anu's back through it. The condition simply disappeared, and she has had no problem since. Soon after, when the couple travelled to Hemkund Sahib, they had to climb 22 kilometers on foot, and Anu was miles ahead of the others. Rai had a month or so left to get back to his ship. He decided to get his youngest maternal aunt or Mausi, who had had her heart valve changed, to Jalandhar so that she could benefit from Guruji's presence. Guruji, meanwhile, would regularly ask him on what date he was going to his ship, and Rai's unchanging reply was a month. He would also make Rai listen to a Shabad, one of whose lines said that the new devotee was still at the first step, but had already begun calling everybody to the path of faith. However, Rai went as planned to Pune and came back with his mother's sister. When they went for darshan, they found access was not easy. Devotees would tell them Guruji was in part meditation, or the gate would be closed. Apparently, something was up. Rai and his Mausi were able to go inside one day. Guruji blessed her, but asked her to go back to Pune. The message went unheeded. Mausi went to him again and was told to go back. When the Rais asked him if she might stay, Guruji kept silent. Clearly, he wanted her to return to Pune. Soon Rai was about to leave Jalandhar to get back on his ship when his Mausi complained of a heart problem and was admitted to the military hospital in Jalandhar. By the time he had reached his ship, her condition had worsened. However, thanks to Guruji, her last days were pleasant and happy. Her family members were able to meet her, and she told them that it was due to Guruji that they could see and talk to her. She breathed her last peacefully, but the message was brought home. Had Rai listened to Guruji, the end might not have come at the time it did. Following Guruji's words, getting promoted. Rai was once planning to shift from his shipping company to another one since his promotion to captain of the ship had been due for the last 4 years, but it was not happening despite his work and his profile being okay. He was in Chandigarh and it was his wife's birthday when he received a call from Mumbai from another shipping company. They asked him to come to Mumbai, promising to take him on as captain. Rai went to Delhi to take Guruji's permission, and Guruji gave it merely, saying, "Go ma, make the visit." In Mumbai, Rai had his medical checkups and then met company officials. He found during the meeting that they had changed their tune. They were now asking him to join ship for 2 months before promoting him to captain. Rai refused the offer. He came back to find that the old firm wanted him back. Guruji advised him to join them. Accordingly, Rai left for Scotland, where the ship was due to arrive in port. The ship was 2-3 days late and he hung around. On the day the ship was going to come, Rai had a dream. He saw Guruji giving him a date, July 14. He woke up wondering what the date meant. When the ship came, he was not asked to relieve the chief officer. Instead, the ship's captain had instructions to take Rai on a parallel tour till the Caribbean, where he was to be relieved and Rai given charge of the ship. Rai was not informed of this, however, and the date on which Rai was appointed captain, July 14th. The dream had come true because the disciple had followed Guruji's words. Indeed, the blessings remained with Rai through the 9 months he was on the ship. He says that during these months, so blessed was he that anything that he would think would happen. He grew afraid of wishing for the wrong thing. What can't Guruji do? In 1997, Rai had gone to Mumbai to get a new passport on an urgent basis. While he tried to get a new one issued, he found to his consternation that the old one that had a valid US visa was lost. He was at his wit's end. Imagine his surprise when a gang member involved in the stealing of passports told him not to worry. They took the details of his old passport, found it and gave it back to him. The Pune miracles. Rai's son was also a recipient of Guruji's blessings. Though he had taken up maths and science, Guruji told him to do a law course from Pune, where Rai's maternal uncle resided. Father and son reached Pune to find that all the seats had been taken. Since he hadn't sat for the exam, there was no question of him getting a seat. Then the Pune University decided to open a new section. He sat for the exam and was admitted. Guruji remarked on his admission, saying that just to get him admitted, he had to get 60 more students in as well. Then Guruji had to make sure that he passed the examinations as well. That the divine will was working closely to bring about his success was clear when Guruji mentioned that though his friends were failing, he was passing every year. Rai's maternal uncle in Pune was benefited as well. Once, Guruji gave Rai a photograph to take for his uncle in Pune. This was surprising because Rai had never talked about his maternal uncle to Guruji. When the photograph was given in Pune, Rai's uncle was surprised as well and cryptically exclaimed, "How does Guruji know?" Rai was intrigued and wanted his uncle to declare that what he was referring to. After 30 years of marriage, the couple was childless. However, they were trying to get a baby through a surrogate mother without success. Soon after Guruji's photograph arrived, Rai's uncle was blessed with a son. Incidentally, till that time he had never had Guruji's darshan. He began visiting Guruji from Pune after the son was born. "3:30 p.m. Tokyo. Rai gets wake-up call." Though Captain Rai and his family were devoted to Guruji, his father was not keen on going. His principle was that one should be a good man and have a direct relationship with God. One day the Rais went to Guruji, telling their father that they were going to the city. When they come before Guruji, he, knowing what they had told their father, told them to go back to the city. Not only did the Rais decide to return home, the incident prompted them to tell their father about Guruji. Guruji's protection extended to Rai's father as well. The Rais was shifting base to Chandigarh from Jalandhar on Guruji's orders. The family went first with Rai's father, bringing the baggage which had a big photograph of Guruji's next. The very day Rai's father arrived in Chandigarh to the new house, he had a heart attack. He was taken to the military hospital. Guruji was in Delhi and Rai was with his ship in Tokyo. Rai was sleeping in his cabin, which was bolted from the inside, when he felt someone shake his leg and wake him up. He looked at the clock and it was 3:30 p.m. Just then there was a call from home. It was his wife saying that his father was seriously ill. Rai said that Guruji had just woken him up and would take care of his father too. Meanwhile, it was found that his father's arteries were blocked, but he returned from hospital. 10 days later, he fainted again. This time, the problem was put before Guruji. He called the couple and advised a remedy. Soon, Rai's father was better. However, he still had to undergo a test. The day before, Guruji asked Rai to give his father a shot of whiskey. When the test report came, the doctor at first said nothing. He went around with the reports to other doctors. Then finally he did return to his patient. The puzzled doctor said that the heart was okay. If his father was cured, Rai's mother too was blessed. Once, while she was taking a bath in her Jalandhar home, she had a vision. She saw the pages of Guru Granth Sahib opening and Guruji's face on them. His mother reported that at this time the divine will had led her to do part automatically. Satsang, as narrated of Captain Rai, Stena Marine Management, Houston, USA. And we move on to the next satsang. Sangaji. Guru Kripa. Let no man in the world live in delusion. Without a guru, none can cross over to the other shore. Guru Nanak. It was on a Wednesday morning, 12th October 2005, that I got a call from my colleague, Dr. G.C. Khilnani, Professor of Medicine at AIIMS, New Delhi. Dr. Pandav, we are having a satsang today evening at my home. Guruji is coming. Please do come at 5:30 p.m. and also bring Mrs. Pandav with you. Are you celebrating your promotion as a professor? Who is Guruji? What is his name? Where is he from? I shot a volley of questions at Dr. Khilnani. His name is Guruji, he replied. You will see him in the evening and you will discover for yourself. Have patience. I shared the conversation with my wife Smita. She had been skeptical to gurus and sadhus, but this time her response was slightly different. Maybe this is a different call, she said. Let us see. And she readily agreed to come with me in the evening. Later in the morning, I phoned my friends Rashmi and Pankaj Singh. I have known Rashmi since the last 35 years, and after her marriage, Pankaj, I had called since I was keen to know how Pankaj's father, the late Prime Minister Sri Chandrasekhar, whom I refer to as Pitaji, was doing. They said they were at an AIIMS private ward where Pitaji had been admitted for a checkup. I immediately left home to be with them. During my visit, Rashmi and Pankaj shared their experiences about their first meeting with Guruji. They told how they have been going regularly to Chota Mandir in Empire State Complex on the Mehrauli-Gurgaon route and how Guruji's grace had changed their life. They spoke of the critical role of Guruji's blessings in Pitaji's improved health. Do you know Dr. Khilnani? Rashmi asked me. I wondered aloud why she was asking me this question today, since his name had never cropped up in any of our conversations. Rashmi said, Oh, We are going to his house in the evening for a satsang. We have to take Guruji to his house. I impatiently asked her, "Who is this Guruji? What is his name?" She said, "Be patient. You will discover for yourself in the evening." I am narrating this conversation in detail to point out that there is a time for your call. One can get Guruji's darshan only when he wills. So that was why on the same day we got Guruji's message from two friends. This is your time to have Guruji's darshan and be blessed. And I would like to remind the Sangat collectively and individually that we all are truly blessed to have Guruji's darshan, his grace and his blessings. Let us acknowledge it and be grateful for this opportunity of a lifetime. I told Smita of my hospital visit and her eagerness for the evening satsang grew. We could not keep ourselves tethered to the house for long and reached Dr. Khilnani's house by 5 p.m. We were one of the first ones to come to his house. After a while, we saw Rashmi and Pankaj escorting a handsome young man wearing colorful clothes down the stairs to Dr. Khilnani's house. He walked in quickly and was ushered to the large ornamental chair in the hall. We had guessed that he was Guruji. As we approached to take his blessings, Rashmi introduced Smita and me to him. Guruji looked at me and said immediately, "Doctor, tusi bahar jao. Doctor, please go out." I took his words literally and whispered to Smita, "Let us go out of the hall. I think Guruji does not want us to be here." We started leaving the hall. Rashmi immediately called us back and interpreted Guruji's words. He wanted us to stay abroad and not in India. We had a bright future and career abroad, she said. We were very relieved and came back and sat at Guruji's feet. There were at least 250 to 300 satsangis at the venue. Most of them were first-timers and many were my medical colleagues from AIIMS. At Guruji's behest, his old disciples were sharing experiences. They ranged from children's scholastic performance to marriages to series of miraculous cures for infertility, asthma, heart diseases, nervous system disorders, and incurable diseases such as cancer. Normally, one would be rather skeptical. All of them had records of their improved health. Once in a while, Guruji would say, "Doctor, look at the practical aspects, how suffering is being lessened." From that day onwards, our journey with Guruji started. Every day since then has been a day of discovery, a day of self-realization and self-actualization. We have been going regularly to Chota Mandir every Thursday and Sunday as and when we are in Delhi. As a part of my work, I do have to travel a bit. But whenever we are in Delhi, something magnetically draws us to Guruji's place. There is an inner surge, and before we realize it, we are on our way to have Guruji's darshan. The doctor is healed. Towards the end of April 2006, I noticed something unusual about the winter that was just over. I told Smita that I had not taken any medicines, including my inhaler that I had to use at least twice a day. I have a strong family history of asthma, and at the beginning of every winter for the last 15 years, I was required to use inhalers. There would be at least 1 or 2 instances of a chest infection. I would have to take antibiotics for 10 days. But in the winter of 2005, I did not have any chest infection, nor did I take any inhalers. I shared this experience with Guruji, who said, "You have been blessed. There is no need for any medicines for your asthma." I had not talked of my illness to Guruji, nor did I pray to him silently to cure it. I was surprised to say the least. The only change that happened to our routine was regular visits on Thursdays and Sundays to Guruji's at Empire Estate, where we received his blessings. And his blessings continued to shower on us. Our daughter Rijuta was studying in the US. She was completing her graduation in cognitive neurosciences and cognitive psychology from Rice University, Houston. Even though she had got admission to her PhD at Rice University, she was not keen on continuing her studies there. She wanted to explore research prospects at the best places in the US, such as MIT and Stanford University. We as parents thought her desire was impractical not only because of her visa status but also because she had little time to find a placement as a researcher, and that too at prestigious institutions. Smita, her mother, was worried. Once, when Guruji inquired about Rijuta, I mentioned Smita's concern to him. Guruji immediately said, "Why are you worried about her? Everything will be fine." He then asked me when I was going to the US. I was in fact planning a trip to be present in Houston for her graduation in May 2006. It was at that time when we visited Rijuta, and both of us were witness to the series of events that happened as a result of Guruji's blessing. Now, Rijuta is pursuing her research at the Department of Brain and Cognitive Sciences at MIT in Boston. After having been to Guruji, we are trying to understand the various events and experiences of devotees that we have heard about, as well as those we ourselves have experienced. What is that we experience with Guruji? The healing power of prayer, which the Sangat listens to, the power of connectivity, the prasad in the form of langar we have every day, the personal blessings of Guruji to every day. All experiences rejuvenate physical health. No matter how tired one is before, after the satsang, everyone is refreshed enough to start a new day even at late in the evening. Most importantly, there is no discrimination. Everyone is equal in Guruji's darbar, rich or poor, Prime Minister or PM, man or woman, villager or city dweller, Indian or foreigner. There are no rituals or restrictions to be followed, and nothing is expected in return from the satsangis, only total surrender. Have faith in Guruji, and faith is nothing else but belief without reason. Guruji is guiding all of us to be better persons and evolve as better human beings. To give one instance, many of us have experienced that our ego has started dissolving after coming to Guruji. Our attitudes are changing. We look at same events from different perspective, and in the process gain peace of mind, thus differentiating between our need and our greed. Guruji has reinstituted our faith in doing good deeds. We are fortunate to be Guruji's disciples. We have also realized the values we live by are worth more than when we pass them on. In our own humble way, we are sharing our experiences with friends and colleagues. Our journey is continuing. We owe all this to Guru Kripa, Guruji's blessings. Satsang of Dr. Chandrakant S. Pandav, Professor and Head of the Center of Community Medicine, AIMS, New Delhi. And Sangatji, with this, we end this session of the reading of the great Granth, Light of Divinity. But before ending, like every day, we will do 7 times Guru Mantra Jap, which is so powerful and so blissful, so full of blessings. I would request all of you to join me in this Mantra Jap. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. जय गुरु जी, शुक्राना गुरु जी।